My my wife and I had another one of those moments this morning, and you guys will know the moments I'm talking about. There's a meme running around the internet right now that says if Marty McFly went back in time 30 years today, it'd be 1994.
I just saw that this morning too. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I looked at my wife and I said, "The moment you realize you're no longer Marty McFly, but you're George and Lorraine McFly."
Oh yeah,
Damn, that sucks so much.
it does.
Oh man.
You know what's funny is that when I look at that movie from 1985 to 55, Marty McFly had such a culture shock. But as weird as this sounds, from 85 to 55, it versus 24 to 94, it seems like 24 to 94 is a much bigger difference culturally speaking.
There's actually that's actually a known phenomenon, and people have studied that. I know because I watched a movie, or not a movie, but a thing about it, where they said that if you look at um, American culture in the last 100 years, it's almost like every decade had its own presence, its own style, its own cultural identity. And then we hit the digital age. And from 2000 till now, there's been virtually no changes. Pop
Hmm.
culture's been almost like stagnant, and music's been very much the same. Movies have been very much the same. Whereas if you like just look at the difference between, let's say, pick at random, the 70s and the 80s,
Oh yeah,
2 decades right next to each other, and they couldn't look and sound and feel any more different, right?
right.
Right.
60s
Um,
and 70s, same way.
yeah, same way. 50s and 60s, same way. It's been like that for quite a long time. And social scientists are saying they think it has to do with the social media, the influence of social media, and like uh, the digital influence of everybody being exposed to everyone all the time
Hmm.
has prevented outliers from dictating what the styles are going to be, and everybody else catching up to them.
Or it's impossible to explode on the zeitgeist. It's impossible to just suddenly have a fad explode because
Yes,
it's introduced incrementally so slowly that it just gets absorbed
and it
and
never
isn't.
takes off. It never becomes the thing that everybody wants. It's just
here's
sort of like
here's
a fart in the wind.
yeah, and here's the other thing is everything now is hyperbole.
Oh yeah.
Everything is hyperbole. It's always the worst. It's always the best. It's always the greatest. Everything's always to get people's attention. It has to be outrageous. Someone's got to die. Something's going to happen. Something bad is happening. It's the end of democracy. Whatever you want to say, it's always overhyped. And because of that, it's impossible for something new to really take hold because everything is everything's big. Everything's outrageous. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It
so
is an
I
interesting thing,
actually,
though.
I actually have a subject matter expert in this whole topic in my family, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't really like sat down for 2 hours and quizzed him on this. But he's written 15 scholarly books. He's a professor at NIU and is on
Hmm.
the TV all the time, and he talks about the changes and the retreading of popular culture and society and all that. So Sharif, actually, I think you have to figure out the wedding's next week, so you'll be able to meet him. I have to remember to introduce you. You can sit
Cool.
there for 2 hours and quiz a PhD about this.
I'm
It's
actually really fascinated by this because even like in my own lifetime, at different points in my lifetime, if I had gone back in time 20 years, like I don't know, like on like the year 2000, if I'd have gone back 20 years with what I had on and what I was doing and like my phone and all that stuff, life would have seemed completely different. Like, oh my God, I really went back in time to another era. But now, if you go back 25 years, nothing would feel different.
Not
It's
really.
exactly the same,
Yeah.
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 like
Well, the
a
one
little
thing
nicer phone.
I remember a real shift in people's communication and ability to stay kind of private and alone is that I remember having a phone that did not send texts but only received them in 2006. So 2005 and 2006 when text messaging just started, and that pretty much ended your privacy from your family and friends and everything else. Because after that, it's just like, oh my God, you can't get away from that fucking phone because of people pinging you on direct message.
Sure.
And it's yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, you'll have to hit him up. David Gunkel is his name, and he's a professor at NIU, actually a philosophy professor, but works in the communications department, and writes and travels and lectures, and he's in Europe all the time lecturing around the university circuit and stuff. But yeah,
For the
neat guy.
record, that might be the most professory name that ever professored.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and he speaks like three languages
Of
too,
course he
and
does.
loves Chicago punk rock and
Nice.
all that stuff. It's yeah, they're a pretty neat couple. I've known them since I was a kid. Uh, but yeah, they're awesome. But yeah, I know. I really I'm going to buy one of his books. I need to. It's been enough time since I've talked about him. I've never read anything of his. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject.
Yeah, I don't think I. The more I'm considering it, the more I don't think I care for it.
No, I know. Well, that's what happens. You get old. It's like, God damn it, I wish things were, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Get off my lawn.
Uh-huh.
Um. All right. Well, how's everybody been since last week?
Just Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That about sums it up. Yeah, last week, uh, you guys spent some time in the safe house near the Vatican, getting some information out of Pasquino. Uh, he seemed lucid to some extent. Then he kind of lost it and fell back into madness, and you pulled him back a little bit. What you basically found out was that the other agent that you're looking for, his partner, who goes by the code name Lucretia, one of the other talking statues. Her name is actually Sabia Janetti, and she also had been captured. She was in the camp. Um, he escaped. He escaped through the tunnels. The what he told you was that the Italians, in doing the road construction, were demolishing buildings, and in clearing away that building by where the work camp is, they found an entrance into an ancient set of tunnels, and they've been pulling uh, prisoners from the nearby prison to help clear rubble. And at some point, they started getting attacked. Um, it was original they had called in an Italian archaeologist who apparently very quickly called in additional help, and an archaeologist from Germany was sent along with another German individual, another German man. They stay in the site office in the work camp. Work happens during the day and at night. Uh, there's two different basically 12-hour shifts. The night crew has to put a lot more of their soldiers, which are also mostly German at this point, a lot more of their soldiers down into the tunnels because the snakes attack more at night. Um, Pasquino himself escaped into the tunnels during one such attack and eventually crawled through a break in the wall, a crack in the wall, where he found himself he found himself in the sewers, and there was just a drain overhead that he escaped out of. Um, so that's where you guys are at. You guys were formulating an idea, a plan, if you were going to um, you were formulating a plan as to how you guys were going to go about this in terms of getting more information out of the archaeologists as well as rescuing the agent. Um, But more importantly, where we specifically left off was that Khan had cast a healing spell, um, and was wildly successful in that healing spell, which cured Walter's injury. Because Walter, he didn't just have damage, he had an actual physical or a mental injury. He was actually hurt. And we resolved that. But we had a decision point left. Walter had to decide whether he wanted to take his role to not have a scar, or if he wanted to voluntarily fail that role and gain a scar and a fortune point.
Yeah, I I think I'm gonna take the role and not have a scar. I
That's
don't
fine.
because
That's
I looked all of them over and I'm trying to think like, okay, how could one of these be positive? And it's a stretch in many
well. They
cases.
the only the scars really aren't positive at all. What makes them positive is your ability to invoke them at a time that matters to gain a fortune
Right.
point. So
Oh, wait. So it's not okay. So let me back up. I thought if I took it, I would get one fortune point and that's it.
you do.
And then I would have the scar forever.
You have the scar forever, but
Right.
during play, you can invoke that scar on purpose. At a now, as a GM, I can invoke the scar as well and make your life very difficult. But as a
Right.
player, you can invoke the scar on purpose to gain a fortune point at a time where it matters.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Much
interesting
harder
because
decision now, isn't it?
yeah, because the fortune point and what kind of judgment do you have on whether I invoke that scar or not?
It has to make sense, and it has to be a situation that legitimately matters. You couldn't invoke that scar on just some random observation roll. It's got to be at a time
Right.
where it counts, if that
No,
makes
no,
sense.
it's got to be in context, right?
Yeah.
But okay, but there isn't like a I wouldn't have to like roll to invoke it or anything like
Mm-mm.
that.
Nope. You
And
just say you basically just decide you're invoking your scar,
okay,
and this is this
Eh,
is what's going to happen.
okay, and I know that fortune points. Let's see, they can be used for creating a truth. What else?
They can be used for setting on any given roll before you make the roll. It allows you to set one of your two dice to one, which is an automatic critical success. It gains you two successes right out the gate. It also can be used after a roll to re-roll any number of d20s,
Just for me personally, or for the party?
just for you personally.
Okay. And I looked at the description. I'm sorry for taking so much time about this,
It's
but I
fine.
guess we haven't really looked at scars before. I didn't see that the scars have a duration when they're invoked. Is like, well, what's the mechanic for like I'd have to look at, I guess I'd have to take a look at my
It depends
email.
on what it is. The
Is it in the player's handbook? Probably is, right?
To an extent, it leaves it a little vague, and I think it does it on purpose.
So the scars are on page 40, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And they're the mental ones. So oh, I see. There are criteria for some of these to be invoked.
correct.
Right. And then oh, well, wait, okay. And then after the, oh, so I get a fortune point whether I invoke it or you invoke it.
Correct.
And what's the max number of fortune points you can accumulate?
Three.
Uh, I don't know, fellas. What do you think? We play on the danger side, and
Um, I got a comment on that last statement.
yeah,
Um, According to the handbook on page 23, you cannot have more than 5 fortune points at any one
Oh, is it? Oh,
time.
my apologies. Okay.
Any
oh,
excess points are immediately discarded
At the end of the
but
game, yeah.
at the end, but you start you start each or what do you call these, campaign
Mission.
or mission? We start each mission with 3. You can have up to 5. Any extras are thrown away, and at the end you go back to 3.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good information. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Why not?
Nice. Man, I think even outside the mechanical thing, I think narratively it's just so much more interesting.
It is, and I've been kind of going with this, this proto Dark Lord dude starting to go down insanity. So yes, let's do that.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, it's Cthulhu game.
unfortunately, it's a mental scar, so we don't get to see some hideous disfiguration.
I know. Well, we can always hope.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, but he's going to roll something like Afraid of Dogs or something.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I'm worried.
So go ahead and give yourself another fortune point on your character sheet,
Oh God, this is almost like going to the dentist.
and you and you can handle this from a role playing perspective anytime you like, and of course we can decide when we're going to invoke it. But you are going to develop an obsessive fixation
Yes.
Oh, great.
on your copy
Oh,
of the King in Yellow.
oh, excellent,
Oh
excellent.
my.
When that last time you remote viewed and you remote viewed these serpent people and these ancient caverns with the ancient writing and just everything you saw, um, you felt like you were on the cusp of touching something greater, whether it be the ancient plateau of Lang or Carcosa or what have you. You were on the edge of it, and you lost it, but you're sure the answer is in the King in Yellow.
Oh, excellent, perfect.
Guys,
Thank you.
So
would you
amazing.
please permit me just 3 minutes or 5 minutes of your time to tell you an anecdote that I cannot resist sitting on any longer, because you mentioned King in Yellow and Jim in the same sentence.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever talked about the most awesome fucking practical joke that anybody's ever played on me in my entire life, and it was Jim
Oh, that's
called
right.
King in Yellow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll enjoy this. It's worth the time.
So one day I get this letter. It has no like return address. It's addressed to me. It's a handwritten. I open it up and it's like this nothing burger, but it's mysterious. It's somebody reaching out. I apologize for contacting you, but I have something important and I will be sending it to you. Please do not throw it away. Please. This is very important or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, Don, you know what this is? No. I'm asking my friend, what is it? Okay, fine. I just forget about it, right? After a couple weeks. And then in like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I get another letter. And it's like this handwritten thing that explains that this person has information that they are being persecuted for, and they have to send it to someone. And they don't know me, and that's why they're sending it to me. And here's some of it, and there will be more. And it's this antique photograph of this like old hotel and theater, and it's like a newspaper clipping, and there's like a story of some people who died in this theater or whatnot. And that's it. A month later, here comes another package with more stuff like that. And the person's saying, this may be the last package I am sending you. Because I don't expect to live much longer.
Oh my God.
That information you must not reveal it to anyone. And if you can pass it on as quickly as possible, it will extend your life. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I've done this to you. It was like this sort of thing, Now I'm shitting solid gold bricks, right? Like, seriously, what the suffering F is going on? I call up Jim. The guy who's responsible for this whole thing. I'm like, Jim, what's going on? He's like, what? I'm like, seriously, what's this? Do you have something to do with this? Because this has got to be something you're involved with. He's like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. And I spill the whole thing. And he's like, that's insane. I go, I know. I can't believe it. So like a month later, a box arrives, and it's a wooden crate.
Oh my god.
Okay, like it's small-ish, but it's easily the biggest crate anybody's ever sent me, made of wood. I got to crack this thing open with a crowbar. Okay, and there's like all this stuffing inside, and like nice like wood shavings and stuff. I pull out a statue of the King in Yellow,
Oh my
and
god.
yes, and the last letter, which tells the rest of the story of what all these like historical like clippings and things that they've been sending me. It tells the story of the King in Yellow, how they had this play of the King in Yellow in like 1880 in this theater at this hotel, and every single person that was there ended up going insane and or dying. And when the authorities broke into the theater to find out what the hell had happened, there was hundreds of these statues where everybody else had been when the play was going. They were just on the ground looking at the stage. These statues, one of which I am holding. And then it was like the very last thing was like, oh, by the way, you could thank your friend Jim for screwing with your brain. I was like, no way. It was like 3 months of me being on the edge of my seat, like with a real Cthulhu mystery on my hands. It was incredible.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Absolutely
that's
incredible.
great.
I'll
it was
never
this.
forget it.
And Kyle, you'll appreciate this. I did
Yeah.
this around, I think this was probably 2014 or 2015, something like that. And I think I was working on the inpatient psych floor. And I got that phone call from Sharif while I was working on the psych floor, which
Oh,
added a little
amazing.
flavor. So that was awesome. But I heard about this. I don't know if they're still around. It was called the Mysterious Package Company, and you basically, you just got to trust them. They have like a brief description of all these different packages that you could do to kind of spoof someone, and they had one about the King in Yellow, and they didn't really tell you a whole lot except that there's going to be several mailings, and then there's going to be a reveal, and then you got to pay all this money and trust it happens. I'm like, I have to try this, and I'm like, Sharif is the perfect target for this. It's just,
Oh yeah,
Dude,
and I
that
knew you would
shit,
enjoy it.
these
it kept
guys
me
are.
up at night. It kept me up at night trying to
Oh,
figure out what the hell was going on.
oh, I'm sorry if I distressed you.
Not in a bad way, not in a bad way, just like, like a mystery, like what is this all about?
Yeah,
Somebody's
Yeah.
messing with me.
these guys are alive and well.
Are they?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, and they got Doogie Howser on their website talking about them and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean now now that if somebody knows there's a company that does it out there, it kind of ruins it. But
Yeah.
man, I Dawn was in on it, Sharif's wife, and because I had to tell her
Oh, of
so that
course.
because otherwise they're going to be so kind of smooth things over a little bit because you'll be expecting TNT in the next package or something. But I'm glad it worked the way it did because nowadays with everybody's paranoia, God knows what people would do with these packages. You
Oh my
know?
God.
It was
Should send
really
them the
fun
Q
because
box.
no
Yeah.
matter how no matter how logical or rational you are, and I consider myself very rational, there's still a little piece of you that's like, what if this is real?
Yeah.
So it looks like apparently now they just basically do games now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I can see where they. But like they've got a game that's called Hastur.
Mm.
It's $296. Age 18 and up. Duration 15 plus hours of demon summoning. Players 1 to 8 doomed souls.
Oh my God.
Pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out. All right.
All right.
I actually forgot about that, Sharif. I'm glad you remembered that. That's awesome.
Sorry for the story time, but
No, that's
It
fine.
is in context. So I have my copy of King in Yellow, and it is now turning into my little Psalm Bible that some people carry around everywhere, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
obsessed with it.
So
Okay.
you're going to need to put sorry, in the personal truth and scars section you need to put in somewhere that
Yeah.
yeah, you've got that obsessive fixation with the king in yellow. Now the way that works is when you invoke that scar, or if it's ever taken from you, or you misplace it, or you drop it, or you lose it, until you get it back, any rolls you make have a +2 complication range. So you'll get a complication on 18, 19, or 20.
Oh, okay.
But again, you gain a fortune point when
Excellent.
it's invoked. So, uh, all right, very cool. All right, I like it. Um, there's one other side effect of con spell own con. I don't think we rolled your cost on your spell. I think we have to do that, but we'll do that in just a second. There was one other, shall we say, effect of your healing spell in addition to healing Walter's uh, mental wound. Um, the eyes of Pasquino seemed to have cleared, and even when he was lucid, he had that kind of glint of you know partial insanity, and that seems to have gone. His face has become very relaxed. He's much calmer, and he he kind of looks around the room. Of course, he's still restrained to the bed, right, or to the cot or whatever he's on. But he looks around the room at each of you, and he says, "I remember my name. My name is Nicky Filippi.
Neat.
So, Con, we have to roll your cost on your spell.
Yep, the fun part.
Yep, the fun part. What is the cost on this thing? 4?
Cost is 4. Yep.
Yep. So just hit the damage dice button at the upper right of the character sheet and plug in 4. And let's see what happens.
Here we go. Come on now.
Oh,
First roll of the game, nothing. No stress, no damage, no nothing.
Nice. Good job, Con.
Rolled a 4 and 3 threes. Wow. Scot free.
Oof.
Uchas was gracious.
Indeed. Indeed he was.
I shall perform the meditation of gratitude to Ushas. Thank you for not burning out my mind.
You're a righteous dude.
What was that? Ferris Bueller?
Yes.
They all love him. They say he's a righteous dude.
so this heals everyone in the apartment, basically.
Yeah, if anyone has any stress damage, it's gone.
Awesome.
Now,
I-
Pilecki still has 4 fatigue, which the only way to get rid of that is rest. But you guys are it's like early morning. It's like
Right.
sun's just come up.
So Slim comes in from the other room, and he's like, "Well, how about it, boys? I feel great. I'm
Did he see any of this, by the way?
He's
He didn't see
ready to
any
blow
of the
stuff up.
supernatural stuff, right?
What's that?
Slim still has yet to see any of this stuff, right?
No, so he saw the necromancer, and that spooked him.
Uh-huh.
There might have been one or two others. Well, he's seen Singh cast like Spear of Indra,
Right, but he
but
missed
I've
all
been
the stuff.
purposefully, for some reason, this sort of phenomena has happened where Slim is always like off doing something when you're like remote viewing or you're like looking at serpent people. He still has not seen the serpent people. So I don't know. I just think narratively it's fun that like
Sure.
you guys are trying to convince Slim that like the supernatural is this force in the universe, but he keeps missing it.
Yeah, pull my other leg.
Yeah.
One quick question. Hachi, how many momentum do we have?
5.
Okay, we're gonna lose them soon, so I can create a truth with 2.
Yeah.
All right, guys, out of game real quick. I think when we finish this scene, our momentum will reset. So I'd like to use 2 momentum to create a truth.
Please do.
Okay.
What are you going to go for?
I'd like to create a truth that the guy that we've been dealing with here at the safe house has access to a German Luger and a couple reloads.
I'll give you that. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll let you guys in on what I'm thinking then. Okay, so I'm going to add that to my sheet, and I'm going to leave my obviously an allied weapon. I'm going to keep it in the safe house. All right, so I'm thinking ahead to tonight after Walter rests and gets rid of a bunch of his fatigue. I don't think he can get rid of all of it, but I don't know. But if he rests and gets rid of his fatigue, I think tonight's the night to make the move. We know she's on the night shift in the tunnels. So I think it's best if I go into the compound tonight in my sergeant's uniform with now a German Luger rather than
A 1945 or a
yeah,
45,
a
Yeah, that's a good
45.
idea.
11.
Great idea, actually.
All right, and I use my stealth and my persuasion to get to the site office to talk to the archaeologists to try and find out what's going on. Uh, since I have perfect German, in fact, since I have perfect German and I'm pretty good at persuasion, I think I have a best chance of doing that myself. Walter might do pretty good, being he's Polish and European, but um, I'm going to be going through the compound where there's less soldiers at night. More of them are in the tunnel. You guys are probably going to go through the drains and go in the tunnel to try and get Lucretia back. And if there's more soldiers down in the tunnel and the snake guys come out at night, I think it would be best if as many as you as possible were together to try and pull this off, don't you think? There's going to be more adversaries in your way in the tunnel than I should see in the camp.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're more likely to have open combat in the tunnels. You'll be able to blend in, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the plan.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking is rather than try and bluff my way through the front gates and then, I might have some more bluffing to do. I'm going to use my stealth and my climbing kit and go in over the building into the compound and try and get in unseen and then act like I belong there and make my way over there and then work it. Slim, you
Yes,
could
sir.
really help me out. In fact, I'll ask any of the guys. The Germans really like American cigarettes. You think one of you guys has a pack of Lucky Strikes I could take with me?
Oh, well, now that is something I can help you with. Stand by, my good friend.
All
And
right,
he
let me bum some smokes off you, Slim.
rummages around in a duffel bag. And there's just like loose ammunition in there. And he like pulls out a pack of cigarettes, Lucky Strikes.
All right, I'm gonna open up the package, take 3 or 4 out, and give them back to you, so that I can crumple the package a little bit so it looks like it's a little bit used, and stick it in my pocket. And this will let me get to use an item that's been hanging around.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
It's nothing big. Baker takes out a well, I don't know. I guess it looks relatively new, like a cigarette lighter, and flicks it open and makes sure it lights, and closes it, puts it back in his pocket. A gift from my father, from several years ago.
That's a nice piece of hardware, sir.
German made.
Oh, well, nobody's perfect.
except the Germans, unfortunately.
And he he looks down at Pilecki on the couch with this cigarette and with these like bunch of loose cigarettes, and he's like, "Pilecki, you want one of these?"
Prussia, Tybee, Prussia.
And he answers,
That means yes. Please.
Is that okay? All right, sure, sure." And
All right. Baker takes out his lighter, gives him a light.
uh,
Walter, it's after the cigarette. I think it's time for you to get some sleep. You look pretty tired, buddy.
I agree. I agree. As he rolls his eyes closed and puffs on the cigarette, enjoying the sting in his lungs.
well, normally I wouldn't send a man alone into a camp like this, Baker, but I trust your skills. You be careful out there.
uh, Mickey speaks up from the bed. Uh, how do I fit in? And would would you mind untying me?
Uh, Baker doesn't untie him. Baker walks over and whips out his super sharp knife and flicks it through the ropes.
Of course he does.
Puts it back. He says, "I, I think we should consider that you could be most helpful in the retrieval of your colleague. Don't you think? You've been. Do you remember? What can you remember about your trip through the drains and the tunnels?"
It was mostly pitch black. I was running mostly by. I was moving mostly by feel. More than once, I heard something behind me, and I would start to run. I'd run straight into a wall. But I know the general sense of the direction. It's not going to be easy, and I believe these snakes can see in the dark.
Of course they can. Um, have you seen one? Can you tell us
Oh,
what?
what they look like?
Well, we know what they look like. Can you tell us how they move? How quick are they? What are their main? Do they attack?
They they seem to hide in the darkness. Uh, they are very adept at. Uh, they're very adept at making you question what's around you. You'll hear sounds and you're not sure if it's rats or if it's them. They will look for opportunities to pull off people who are separate from groups and take them further into the tunnels. No one who's been taken away has ever been recovered, to my knowledge. They all have one hand. I'm not sure why. It's very strange. That hand is dangerous. They're just as adept with it as they're just as agile with it as a man, but they have claws. They also have teeth, and I believe they have poison. You don't want to be bitten by one. They will attempt, if they can't drag you off, they will attempt to hold you still and bite you.
That sucks.
Okay.
But they die no differently than any other man. Shoot one a couple times and it dies.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Well, Khan and Slim, what ideas might you have to try and recover this? To recover Lucretia, the the advantage is the guards will be focused on the threat of the snake men, not on you, right? So maybe there's a chance of infiltrating the tunnels and grabbing her up. I think it's hopefully without too much notice. And there's got to be some light in the tunnels so they can work. What ideas do you have for your team to go down this drain and into the tunnels to find her?
You saying we go in through the tunnels and out through the tunnels after we find Lucretia?
I think you take whatever path of egress is most expeditious, but if you can remember your way into the tunnels, then hopefully you can remember your way out.
That's fair.
The way out the other way leads to the camp where there's more soldiers.
Well, frankly, sir, I just thought I'd kill my way out, but I mean, if we're thinking fancy like, I don't know. I mean, what do they use? I mean, they use. I read a sci-fi novel once where they use breadcrumbs. We do something like that.
To find our way out? Is that
Yeah,
what
you're
you're saying?
suggesting we're getting lost?
We just need a piece of charcoal or a wax crayon or I don't know, something like that.
This is why I keep you eggheads around.
That's right. That's right, baby. We need some kind of something to write with. Put an arrow on the wall.
That's fair enough. I mean, I figured, given my specialty, that navigation would not be my particular role in this operation. I'm not much of a what do they call that when you go into caves? Like spelunky.
Spelunky.
We don't have caves in Texas. I mean, these two are coming with me, right? Maybe three.
Yeah, I think it's the three of us, right? Schrodinger's dilemma. What's this?
Well, I'm going to be having my gentlemen.
I guess hilarious. Do you guys see that?
What's that?
The picture that I assume Marty just posted.
Oh, amazing!
That's pretty funny. Is he alive? Is he dead?
That's hilarious.
Though this guy's probably okay because he's a commander based on the stripes on his sleeves. So high-ranking officers don't usually go down that often. But
Mhm.
anyway, sorry. Sorry for this.
So here's where Slim's coming from. I mean, if we're going into a Nazi camp, and I realize it's a stealth mission, but I'm bringing all the toys, and in order to do that, I'm going to be fully encumbered. All right, so we'll be prepared for various situations, but when it comes to like navigation and stealth and things, other members of the team here are probably going to have to take point on that. I will point, click, and delete any serpent people.
Sounds good. Well, we need electric torches.
Yeah.
We need charcoal or some mark-making implement. And we could use, melee weapons and try to kill silently first until the jig is up, and then we switch to loud mode. And I guess we don't really need to obscure unless we want to wear dark stuff to try to blend with the shadows, because it's going to be dark.
Well, and then the reptile people, snake people can see in the dark anyway, right? So it'll just help us with the Germans.
So, hey,
Do you think, Nikki, actually, I should, Mr. Filippi, do you think since they're accustomed to being in the dark,
Photosensitive? I was just
are they
thinking that.
photosensitive to bright lights?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure that Henry would know the word photosensitive.
Walter pipes up, photosensitive.
So, is it possible that bright lights will hamper them?
We'll ask our friend over here.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm asking. I'm asking Flippy.
he says it doesn't seem to be. I haven't seen anything to indicate that.
Maybe just not bright enough. Maybe we should bring a spotlight down there.
Maybe they have in the tunnels that they've cleared. They have lights attached to the walls, embedded into the walls. Now they're relatively dim and they're spaced far apart. And the further we go into the tunnels, the more they have to put up. So maybe it's not bright enough. Maybe there's not enough of it. I don't know. But when the snake people come into those lit tunnels, it doesn't seem to
Hmm.
bother them.
And there hasn't been a successful way to fight against them then, right? That you've known, like
Well,
something out of the ordinary that we haven't heard about.
I mean, out again, outside of shooting them
Yeah.
seems to work.
I wonder if anybody in the party has specific knowledge of reptilia. Hmm. Who could that be? Slim. If
Well,
there's any chemical compound or salt bad for them for reptiles. I don't know. I'm just thinking out of the box.
are you
I
talking about me or talking about Slim?
Well, I'm trying you to metagame here.
I think I think
I don't know. There's a lot of reptiles in Texas, right?
that would be an
Sure.
academia science. I think,
I don't
Yeah.
know. Ranchers in Texas, how do they mitigate
or
pests
maybe
like that?
survival
Shovels.
with animal handling shovels.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Forget I asked.
yeah. I mean, well, so I mean, cold. They don't like light or vibration. I mean, that's the metagame answer. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but they're surprisingly resilient. So,
Okay. Well, we got that going for us.
Well,
yeah, yeah.
if you can shoot them, and remember, if they show up in force, the the Germans will be focused on shooting them and not on you. So there could be plenty of firepower. You might have to be prepared to shoot the Germans after they take care of the snake people.
Well,
Uh,
I am spoiled for choice.
so, all right.
I
So
have
the
a quick question. Sorry.
oh,
Is it possible, Marty, to use momentum to get a truth and get some body armor? Because I think there's going to be a lot of melee involved in this, and at the very least, they can bite us, so that's an incentive for them to close with us.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're at the monastery, right? So
Yeah. There's not a lot of armor options available.
We could
Um,
even improvise it, like rolled up magazines and tape kind of thing, something to stop them from biting us so easily. I'm not trying to stop a bullet. I just don't want to get poisoned every 5 seconds.
I gotcha. Um,
Well, my
what about
pa always said the best defense is a good offense.
like maybe animal handling,
y-
padding, that kind of thing?
yeah, I mean, from the standpoint of, I would probably let you guys spend two momentum to add some sort of additional, because for instance, in the book you have leather armor as an option, just basic leather armor. It adds 1 point of armor to you, and it's restriction rating one, so it's easy to get. It's easy to find. Um, and while you may not necessarily be doing leather armor, it's something along that concept, just some sort of additional padding, and it doesn't restrict you, movement wise. Now, if you went with something heavier, obviously it would. But I mean, yeah, I would let you guys spend uh, 2 points, two momentum points to create truth to do something like that. Um, I don't know that Baker would be wanting to add that to his character.
nope, not interested. It
Yeah.
would ruin my disguise.
Now here's the question. I gotta check one thing because this is important from an encumbrance standpoint. This is important from an
If you're
encumbrance
asking
standpoint.
about me,
Yeah.
yes, I will forego the armor to carry the
Yeah, because
weapons.
you're going
Yeah.
to be all used up, aren't you?
So I will be beyond used up. I will be encumbered if I carry both the machine gun and the bazooka.
What
I
I
believe.
have to find out is because I see the armor here, but it doesn't really indicate whether. Oh, here we go. Okay, so leather armor is considered a minor item. Other armors are obviously more, but a leather armor is considered a minor item. So it's just simply a question of whether your character has enough encumbrance to carry it.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's see here.
What I'm picturing is kind of just, thick leather jacket kind of thing, kind of like motorcycle jacket thickness, right? This is what we're talking about, leather armor,
Yeah,
just like,
basically. I mean, to gain that plus one
yeah,
of additional armor. So, like looking at your character sheet for a second, like for instance, Pilecki, what do you have on you? You've got your 1911,
which is out of ammo.
which is out of ammo.
And I did pick up a PPK though.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know
right.
where I
You
put
did pick
that,
up a Walther PPK.
so that's
So
mine.
every
I should just
character gets what, a major item and a minor item, and a major item is worth three minors. Now, your brawn may pick you up additional items. Your brawn is what?
Oh, interesting. Okay, I think I can do this without being encumbered.
Oh yeah.
I think I just will make it
Yeah,
because of my
Pilecki,
brawn.
your brawn is six,
yeah,
which is well, which is the bare minimum. So,
yeah. I'm basically Sheldon.
yeah, yeah. So basically, I mean, if you could leave, well, let's see, your analytical tools counts as a minor. Your first aid kit counts as a minor. Each gun counts as a minor. Um,
I don't think I have my PPK listed on here. I thought I did.
Okay,
it's in your weapon list.
Oh, I see. Okay. Why did I
page
put the
98 in the book. If
equipment of
anybody's
note? Okay, I'll get rid of the
curious.
1911 and equipment of note. Got it.
So yeah, I mean, you've got if you carried your first aid kit, your analytical tools, and your Walther PPK, that's three minor items, which is the same as a major. So you could still add basically the leather armor and gain 1 point of armor. But
Okay.
you'd be maxed out on your encumbrance. You'd be done.
Wow. A gun and a first aid kit and a jacket. And I'm can't even bring my chest set, I guess. All right.
Say,
Um,
say, Inspector, and he pulls out the bazooka out of the duffel bag, and he's like, "You figure you could carry this for me down there till I need it?"
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure on this encumbered calculation.
all right, well let's look at it. You've got your dagger, which is a minor item.
Yeah,
You've got the Enfield service revolver, which is a minor item,
right.
and then your other stuff is all kind of small or doesn't really matter. Um, so the bazooka is a major item, um,
What is the leather armor again?
a minor item.
So can I add that without affecting my ability to carry the bazooka?
Well, unfortunately, no,
Okay.
because you get a major item or one minor. I'm sorry, you get a major item and one minor. And a major item can be exchanged for at three minors. That's the exchange rate on it. So if you carry the bazooka, that becomes a major item, which means you got room for one other thing. Now, here's the other thing. I just want to double check your brawn to make sure your brawn doesn't give you. What's your brawn?
I think it's 8.
I
Let me
think
look
it's
real quick.
eight. I don't think that
Yes, it's 8.
I don't think that gives you any additional items.
Just means I'm not going to get beat up in the lunch line.
No, it's 9 that gives you a bonus minor.
Yeah. So now you can carry stuff beyond your encumbrance level. The problem becomes the problem becomes why does the player's guide not have a simple under the index have a simple thing for a simple injury for
It it
encumbrance.
it's on 98. It's
Thank you.
yeah. It's a truth. Um, a character may attempt to carry more than one their carrying capacity by choosing to be encumbered, and then can carry three additional minor items and one additional major item.
Oh,
Being encumbered is a truth, making moving or carrying more difficult or impossible depending on how much you want to carry.
so um,
Can I just chime in here real quick? It might solve something if the GM allows for it. Considering that Luca is a war dog and has a brawn of 9, probably has been trained to carry equipment in addition to armor or other items. Is that something that you would allow?
let me think on that for a minute.
Interesting.
Let
I
me
mean,
think.
that's in modern times. You do have them carry stuff. So
No,
Well,
that's a
well,
true
usually like
well,
statement.
first
well,
aid kits, but that kind of thing.
Let me think on that. But
Okay.
meanwhile, if we go with encumber, if you do decide to carry extra stuff to be encumbered, it basically just increases the skill test, your physical based skill test by a difficulty of 1. So if you're if you're encumbered and you decide to and you decide to physically attack somebody, shoot a gun or attack them with a knife or whatever, it makes the difficulty 2 to hit instead of 1. And I may also choose to have you incur other penalties like gain fatigue faster, stuff like
well,
that.
let me ask an important question regarding all of this
Okay.
of of Mr. Filippi, and that is, do you?
Oh, you've got Mr. Yeah, you've got him here too. Sorry, go
We've
ahead.
got him. He can carry some shit,
Yes, he
but
can.
um, the question I have for him is, do you remember getting in and out of the drain and the tunnels? I know it was all foggy for you, but do you remember if there are any tight squeezes that would make it almost impossible to get this
No, the crack
large sewer, this large pipe through the
no,
sewer?
the crack in the sewer wall into the tunnels is actually pretty large. It's
Okay.
just it's in the sewer itself. It's close to the ground, and it drops and empties down into the tunnels below it. It's relatively easy to get through.
Well, Slim, your instinct to take your heavy weaponry seems to be well placed.
Yeah, this does solve the encumbrance issue. By the way, though, you do have Nicky Filippi who wants to go with you, so you could have him carry something.
Slim eyes him warily. Uh, well, I would appreciate the assistance, but you can be gentle with this thing, right? It's her first time.
It's her first time. He
It's-
he. You're looking at him warily. He's looking at the weapon warily, uh, and says, I will be very careful with that. It would be it would be unfortunate if it went off in the tunnels.
That's what happened to the last guy.
All right, and he nervously hands it to the guy. So Slim is he's going to be able to carry unencumbered a machine gun and ammo belt, his 1911 and ammo belt for that, armor if we can get it, and then I was going to ask if I can obtain an entrenching tool. Uh, I figure that's pretty standard equipment. Maybe someone would have that. I have a mechanics thing. I don't know if a shovel would be in there, but
No, not typically.
okay,
From the standpoint of acquiring an entrenching tool,
yeah,
um, if you guys use 2 momentum to get the leather armor, then you'll only have 1 left. In which case,
okay,
I would have you do some sort of roll to see if you can find one.
okay.
Um, Uh, Probably a. I imagine going to find something like that would definitely be an insight roll. I'm not sure what skill that would be.
Oh, I'm sure there's a gardening store on every corner in Rome.
I'm going to Menards.
Yeah, I don't know that that would be a particular problem finding something like that,
Okay.
especially with enough time. If you're like I've got 10 minutes to find this, I'd probably make you make a roll to see if you can locate something quickly.
But he's
But
got all afternoon.
yeah, you got all afternoon to do it, so I'm not going to make that a problem.
And what if I'm partial to color? All right.
Any
Yeah, he's
color
going
you
to.
want as long as it's black.
All right. Yeah, he's going to gear up in that way. And I will adjust my sheet. Thank you.
All right, no
Okay,
problem.
so I think the main plan, just so I understand, the main plan is for you to infiltrate the tunnels and try and get Lucretia by stealth first. Second, protect yourself against Germans or snake people and try and get out the way you came. If you can't get out the way you came, and there are various reasons that could happen, then you'll have to come out through the mouth of the tunnel. I think I will know that that's happening because it'll be pretty loud if you're coming out of the mouth of the tunnel. And so I will try and aid, and we will. So the only other thing is if the plan B is you come out through the mouth of the tunnel, I'll do what I can to aid the group, but we have to decide then, do we go out through the front gates past the guardhouses, or do we go back and try and climb the ropes? Or, oh wait, there's fence. So Slim, you said you have mechanics tools.
I do. I do. It's going to be a little
So,
tight in my kit here, but
well,
yeah, I can bring them.
didn't we discuss before that when we were thinking about sneaking into the compound, that a way to extricate ourselves rather than try and climb back up the climbing using the climbing tools back up on the roof of the building is just to cut through the chain link fence.
That's fair.
So that should be the way to extricate ourselves, is to go out through the chain link fence, because with all these people, it's going to take a while to climb to the top of a building. Also, my plan was to try and my plan was to hook up a slip knot so that I could drop the climbing tools behind me off the wall, because these guys walking rounds will see see a rope hanging down, and then the jig is up. So I got to get that out of there. I can't leave it.
Is
So
there, have we discussed getting into the compound by just, cutting the fence along one of the posts and climbing
that'll
in and then
it.
securing it
I didn't
again?
want to. Well,
So that, just guards walking by that are bored and haven't seen anything for days would just skip by because they're privates and tired.
well, my plan was to do this unaided. Let you guys go in the tunnels. I do this unaided. I would go
Uh-huh.
into the building we were in before, and I would just drop the rope over when I saw the coast was clear and go
Right.
down using
Yeah.
my stealth, and then bring the whole thing down and dispose of it someplace, hide it,
Right.
and then I buy time. I can take my time to move around the compound, and
I
I
guess
got
I'm I guess I'm confused about the plan from start to finish. I guess I must have faded or missed that part. So
okay. Well, you were sleeping through part of it.
yeah, right. So you're infiltrating in German uniform, and you're gonna be the eyes on the outside of the cave, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're doing this at the same time. It's going to
Right.
take some time for each of us. So I am going to go into the building we were in,
Right.
drop down into the compound, pull the ropes down after me, and hide them.
Hmm.
Then I
Yeah.
am going to make my way like I belong there, and avoid people as much as possible using my urban stealth. But if I run into guys, I'm going to use my persuasion to get by them. And I'm heading to the site office.
Right.
So my first goal is to get to the site office and engage the archaeologists to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Part of our mission.
Right.
Meanwhile, you guys are going down the drain into the tunnels to try and get Lucretia and get out any way you can. You're going to get out back through the tunnels and drain if you can. You're
Mhm.
going to come out through the mouth of the tunnel if you have to.
If you have to, otherwise we'll just be going through the
If
drains
you
and
come
not
out of the
through the.
mouth of the tunnel, I will hear it because you'll
Uh-huh.
probably be some gunfire and maybe a bazooka.
Uh-huh.
And so I will then immediately provide whatever aid I can, whatever soldiers, whatever commotion, maybe making some commotion. I'll see what I have to do. And then we'll make our way back to, rather than go out through the guard, past the guard towers, we'll make our way to the back of the compound and cut through the fence and go out through the fence.
Okay.
But hopefully, of course, hope is not a strategy.
No.
But hopefully, you guys can find a way to extricate yourself back through the tunnel and out the drain. And then I will basically bluff my way out through the gates.
All right. Dungeon crawl.
All sounds easy.
So just to put a bow on this, we did get the armor. We are out of momentum.
We have one.
You've won.
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, anyone who's got the space can, that's all of you, can put leather armor on your equipment and move your armor on the main part of your character sheet up by one. Um,
Just a quick clarification here.
Yeah.
Just so I'm stating it aloud, Slim is not going to be wearing armor. He's carrying too much, and he's going to have to give the mechanic tools to Luigi or whatever his name, Nicky.
Okay.
Do we want to? Can you address the Luca question maybe? Because maybe you could strap the mechanic tools to the dog.
I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't let the dog carry something big like a bazooka.
Right.
But something like a quote unquote kit. Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
That might be more expeditious than a human carrying it, right?
Awesome.
And armor for Luca.
Um,
I know,
gonna
asking
pass
for
on
the
that.
world. Sure, come on. Okay.
Go back to sleep.
Okay.
The Nikki says, I have my knife, but I'm much better with a gun if there's a spare weapon.
Well, there just happens to be one now.
It's a 1911, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's got 2 reloads. I want this to come back in the same shape I gave it to you. And I turn and look at Slim.
Hey.
Give him the stink eye.
Now. And he looks at Nicky and he's like, "You heard the man." Tries to ignore the comment.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Nicky can't take the ammo belt with the 2 reloads. He doesn't have enough space.
Well,
He's
okay.
carrying the bazooka and the 1911, and he's done. That's all he's
Oh,
got.
okay. I forgot about that. So, one.
But at least he can shoot at something. I gave, by the way, you guys should all have access to his character sheet.
Oh.
Just from the standpoint of if ever anyone needs to roll for him.
Oh, maybe I should do that for Luca too, huh? Is there a way to do that?
Oh yeah, there's a way to do that actually.
Because she is an NPC.
Yeah.
We were rolling just generically for her last time.
Where would I find that?
Should be. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, it's in the
I see it.
journal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see it. Okay, cool.
I love that we're doing this like montage, this equipment montage.
Yeah, I know.
Like everyone gearing up.
How do you spell Luca? Is it
Lucca.
CCA.
Yeah.
All right. Edit. And
Wasn't that a '90s song too, Luca?
yeah,
Oh
It
God.
was. You're just talking about the '90s. Yeah, it just popped in my head.
actually, I think it was 80s. I think it was 88, 89.
Yeah.
All right, you should see Luca, Walter.
Yep, there she
I
is.
didn't fill in any of the stats.
Okay, I can do that. I got it bookmarked.
Okay. Um, all right. So, from the standpoint of resting, Mr. Pilecki, because do you not have 4 points of fatigue?
I do.
You do. So, healing fatigue is all based on rest, and to do so, you make a you make a roll using brawn or will, whichever's better. Um, with resilience as the attached skill,
Okay.
and it's difficulty one. You you do have 1 point of momentum left, which you could use to buy a third D20. Basically, the net effect is every success kicks a point of fatigue.
Yeah, let's since this is the end of the scene,
Yeah,
let's
you're
do
going to
that.
lose it anyway.
All right, so we're doing will, 3 dice,
Yep.
resilience, resilience. Focus does not apply, and difficulty one, you said?
You got it.
All right, let's see what we got here.
One success.
All right, so it goes down one, huh?
Yep.
All right. So every time I take a like what we would call a long rest, I can remove and I get to roll
You get
for
to
it and
make a
see
roll
them.
to remove fatigue. That's right.
Okay. So to remind everybody else, that subtracts from my total amount of stress allowable until I'm down, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so right now I've got 7 total, I think.
That's
Why
what you
doesn't it
should have. Yeah. It does this weird thing where it doesn't
update right away?
update right away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It'll probably update.
Um,
Anyway, doesn't matter.
yeah, I
So yeah,
closed the
so
sheet and reopened it, and now it's updated.
okay.
So yeah, he can only take 7 points of damage. Just so you guys are aware,
Yeah.
that's the downside to fatigue. All right. So yeah, the quote unquote equipment montage and the rest. We wait till the sun goes down.
Correct.
All right. So the plan here is that so Baker's going in alone.
Correct.
All right.
Uh,
So Nikki leads the rest of you guys out east of the Tiber, and it's a large great drain in a back alley off of a street. The it's Rome, so it's it's not exactly like it's deserted. You know what I mean? It's a big city, so I think this would call for some sort of roll to see if anyone notices or pays attention to you guys prying up this drain and going down into the sewer. Wouldn't you guys think that?
With a big bazooka on his back.
Nuh-uh.
it's a poster tube.
It's a poster tube, a very big poster tube
You're going to a conference,
made
right?
out of metal in the sewers.
Yeah, yeah. The roll seems right.
So, Nikki has an agility of 8 with stealth 3 and the urban stealth focus. I don't know if any of you are any better than that. So his target number is 11, and he does have urban stealth.
I only have stealth 3 with camouflage focus, so probably not quite as.
What's your agility?
Agility is 9.
9. So you have a better roll, but he has the focus.
Yeah. When that, what does that do?
Well, the focus makes it that on a 3 or less he gets a critical success, whereas with
Oh,
you it would just be on a 1.
I see. Uh, I don't know. Is it my call?
Yeah, whatever you guys decide. We can
I
have
am
him
not
make it.
stealthy.
What's that?
I am not stealthy.
Why does that not surprise me?
And I'm not there, so I don't know anything.
Well, I do have that skill of nick in time, or in the nick of time. So if something goes wrong, I guess I could always invoke that,
What
right?
does that do again?
It allows me to just wait, I got it's on my sheet. Hold on. Sorry, I was filling in Luca's.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So detail perfect timing. So perfect timing. It's a stealth skill. You always get there when you need to. When you make a stealth test, there is a limited amount of time to succeed, such as reaching a certain location. The first bonus D20 you purchase costs 0.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's another advantage. You guys could have Walter make the roll instead because he basically gets a third D20 at no cost.
I guess I'm the obvious one. So
Yep,
it's
that would be real good. And after he's done, I think I would like to use my constantly watching, or perhaps I should use it first.
Okay.
Constantly watching to see if there's danger or hidden enemies around. So looking for a moment when we're less likely to be seen.
All right. So, and mechanically speaking, what does that do precisely?
It is an observation uh, check,
Yeah. Okay.
basically.
It
It
reduces the
reduces the
difficulty.
difficulty by 1 to a minimum of 0.
All right. So let's do it that way. You do an inside observation roll to determine if you think to figure out what time. It's going to be difficulty 0. So this is, you can either succeed automatically or you can make the roll to try to earn momentum.
I will make the roll if you please.
That's fine. All right. Yep. So difficulty 0. Very good.
nice.
All right. One momentum gained. All right. So there does not seem to be anybody around. I mean, there's people around, but no hidden enemies or anything along those lines. You don't see anything that looks like black shirts, Italian soldiers, that type of thing. Not in the immediate area. So, uh,
Good, Walter.
All right. So here I go. It's an agility roll, correct?
yeah, it would be agility with stealth.
Three
Uh,
dice.
yep, you get 3 dice, difficulty 1.
It's there. Sorry.
It's okay.
Difficulty. All
Two
right.
successes, gaining momentum and a complication.
Mm.
And a complication, but there's no enemies nearby because Khan already determined that. So
He forgot his copy of King in Yellow.
He gets damn.
that would be really twisted. I don't think I'm going to do that to you.
There's plenty of places to lose it in the tunnels.
Oh
Yeah.
God! Stop.
I'm just going
He
to
doesn't need ideas.
I'm just going to bump the threat
The
total
dog
up to
could eat it.
10.
Oh God.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm just going to bump the threat to 10. It's fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Um, yeah, so uh, I I've got this image in my head of like you know Sing, and this is probably not what's happening, but Sing Slim and Filippi all like standing like a human wall while Walter quietly pries up this grate.
Yeah.
That's
It's like a
probably not
typical
what's
street
going on.
sewer scene, right?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, you climb, you pry up the grate, and it is a large drain. You can all one at a time. You can all slide your way down into it. Um, I'm sure it smells lovely under there. You are in a series of sewer tunnels. Uh, Nikki, he points down the way. He says, if you shine your flashlight that way, it's about 15, 20 feet down. And there's a there's a large crack in the wall that goes floor to ceiling, but down towards the bottom, about 3 feet from the bottom, it opens up very wide. It opens up 3 or 4 feet wide. And he says that's it. It goes about 6, maybe 7 feet. Well, I guess, let's see, an Italian in the 1940s, he'd probably say he goes about 2 meters, and then drops down into the tunnels that connect to what's being excavated.
So, we're in this stinky ass sewer, and Slim's got all this equipment strapped to him, and he pulls out his entrenching tool, and he sort of wrinkles his nose, and he says, "Hell's bells! All this seafood has this smelling like well, I don't like a sewer." And he shakes his head, and then he's sort of like marching on, maybe some slushing going on, trying not to slip. And he looks over at Singh, and he says, "Inspector, you got a minute?"
Of course.
And as he's pulling out his entrenching tool, and he's like eyeing the darkness, he says, "Listen, I ain't ever done anything like this before. There's a favor I'd ask of you if I don't make it out of here.
What is it?
There's a letter in the top drawer of the dresser back at the safe house. It's addressed to a Lupita. I'm wondering if you can get that in the mail for me."
Lupita? Is this your little senorita you were telling me about?
And he nods a little bit, and he says, "Yeah, that would be the judge's daughter. The man said I could serve my time in the military, and if I got out squeaky clean, that he might consider letting me take her out. And I aim to do that. But I can't do that if one of these Nazi buggers gets me in the gut. But
you may depend on me, young Slim.
Thank you, sir. And listen, if I go down, send her the amulet too, eh?"
He smiles.
He slaps you on the shoulder. "We are warriors of the light, my friend." And he like shuffles off to lead the team down into the sewer.
As Slim turns, Khan stops in his step in disbelief and pride. He's beaming through his thick bushy beard. Pushes back a tear with the edge of a knuckle. The boy has become a man.
All right, so you are looking at the mouth of this hole that exits out of the sewers and goes down into darkness. Who's going first?
You know what? I will. I'll go first. He pulls out his entrenching tool and unlocks it into the shovel position.
And down he goes.
And he looks back and he says, "Now, you sure we can't use guns yet?"
I wouldn't lead with that.
Stealth, my friend, stealth.
The things I do. And he leads on into the darkness, like sort of poised, ready to swing this shovel at the nearest. I think Slim also he's not obviously he's in this like secret organization to combat the supernatural, right? And he's seen some of this stuff, but he's not sure of how he feels about this whole serpent people thing. He either it's like some cognitive dissonance or something. He thinks that this is maybe they're like humans that live down here or something, as opposed to actual like reptiles. So that's kind of where his mind's at.
Yeah, a little bit of denial is never a harmful thing, right?
Yeah. Plus, I want his first sanity roll to be.
All right, and I make a silent hand gesture to Luca, and she jumps down after Slim, and then I go ahead and hop down as well.
Yeah. So true
Khan will
to.
pull out his knife in one hand and revolver in the other, and he'll go in
Ooh, I like it. Yeah.
Oh,
commando style.
I have an out of game question.
Okay.
What kind of night vision do dogs have, or do they rely on smell?
That's a good question. I
They
don't
do
think.
see
I don't.
better than humans in the dark.
Yeah, it
They do
might be
have
a
an
function of
elevated
their.
low light vision, but it's not like they can see in the dark.
No.
Yeah,
No, I know they can't see in the dark. I know it's not like infrared. I'm saying.
Right? No, I know you
I'm
know
just
that.
wondering. All right. I was just curious.
The
Yeah, my
true to Nikki's word. It's the it's not very far. The crack it runs almost level for about the first meter, and then it drops off hard. Uh, and really, you can see that climbing up out of it was probably easier than climbing into it, because once it points downward, uh, it, uh, it's all you can do to keep from just getting ejected as you come down. You find yourselves in a who's carrying a flashlight.
I thought we all no. Didn't we say we're going to get
Well, Singh said he had
flashlight?
a knife in one hand and a gun in the other.
No,
So
from um,
I think we
Probably,
probably glossed
probably
over
he's got a
the.
free hand.
Slim should
I
grab.
I have to look,
He's
but
in the
I
lead.
thought there were more than one of us who had flashlights. I'm not there, of course, but there were
no,
more
I
than
don't.
one of us
I don't
that
think that's
had
a problem. I
more
just
than
meant
one of us had flashlights. Somebody needs to turn it on, I'm sure.
yeah. I just meant narratively who's actually carrying the flashlight.
Yeah, I'm in
Having
the
the
lead. I'll
flashlight that's on.
one hand on the flashlight, one hand on the entrenching tool.
That works.
Makes sense.
So it's you are in. I guess perhaps when you heard talk of tunnels, you probably had an idea in your mind. Of course, Walter, you've actually seen these tunnels, but being
Right.
here in person, um, they're they're a good 7 feet tall, and they're rounded at the top, like the tunnel arches, smooth walls that arch upward as they go upwards, and they're wide enough for two men to walk abreast. I mean, they're pretty big. It's there's a little bit of there's a little bit of uh, mold and wetness and waste and detritus right here in this one particular spot because of the crack into the sewers. But as you look up and down the tunnel with the flashlight, it's very dry, very musty. You get the sense that the air here does not move very much or very far.
Hmm. If you would allow, if you're done with the narration, if
Hmm.
you would allow, I would assume that a canine would probably sniff around in a new environment like this to do an
Absolutely.
observation test. So, yeah, so she's going to do, what is that again? Insight, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's an insight observation, 2 days, just to see what we can see, if we can see or smell.
Sure. Let's call it difficulty one.
Okay.
She has a smell focus, I assume.
Smell and actually they combine them. It's smell and taste.
Oh, smell and taste. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting. Okay. Um,
Sorry about that. Okay.
oh, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, she smells around, um, and looks off one direction as she's doing that, and then just kind of turns away from that as if she's not really that interested. And then smells the other direction because the tunnel goes two ways, obviously, and kind of gives a soft whine facing that direction. Uh, Nikki says, "I'm fairly certain that's the way to go." And I mean that makes sense because it looks like you would be going west.
Excellent. I praise Luca and pat her on the head.
All right. All right. So
Looks west is confirmed the way to go then, gentlemen.
so you have so the tunnel's wide enough for two people to walk side by side. Slim obviously is in the front. Um, so I'm going to ask for a marching order.
Oh boy.
So you got Slim up front. Who else is up front with Slim?
Well, my brawn is 9.
I'll be
No,
up front.
I'm not
I'll go
9.
with
I'm
it.
6. So
I'll be up front.
you'll be up front. Okay.
All right. So we'll put Walter with the dog.
Maybe third in line.
Yeah, and then Nikki. That
Yeah.
should work. Okay, that'd be fine. Um, it's down here. Down here, it's it's really disconcerting. The only light comes from your flashlights. You don't find any other cracks in the walls leading upward or downward either way. The tunnels are, outside of some dust and some fallen rock here or there. The tunnels are obviously, they were made by somebody. They're smooth. They're. It's not a cave tunnel. This is a dug out and smoothed tunnel. Um, as Hold on one second. Um, Hold on.
I hate to do this. Guys, would you mind if we do a bio break for about 30 seconds or something?
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good to
Yeah.
me.
Before we get into the thick of it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I'm here, by the way.
Yeah, I'm back too, thanks.
Are you guys hearing background noise from me?
I'm hearing a little TV or something.
Okay.
It's not distracting though.
All right.
It's not very loud at all.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, by the way, Kyle, that dice tower's coming along great. The only there's because the thing didn't come in with any instructions or whatever. You really got to MacGyver the clear wall on the
Oh,
outside. So I'm like, I don't know how this person designed this. I think they may have already had some kind of plastic jar that they used. It was like pretzel jar or something.
gotcha.
I'm using acetate, but I'm going to have to work on it a little. I can do it. It's just it's not very straightforward. But yeah, it turned out great. Yeah, I think I'll probably might be able to finish it up today or tomorrow. I had to step away from it to let my creative juices flow on how to handle it the best way.
Sure.
It actually works with a partial, but because you've got the arch in front, you have to like I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. There's like you can't.
you have to
It,
like cut
it's
into it.
it's not a you'd have to almost have a tube that was exactly the same size, and then you would have to cut into it, and that's what I may have to do. I just yeah, it's really neat though. It's gonna look awesome.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Hmm.
Well, your paint job was awesome. I'm looking forward to some pictures of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know she'll want to keep it, but I was kind of hoping maybe she'll give it back to me so I can use it as a nice. This thing is pretty epic.
Well, I will print you whatever dice tower you want, man.
I appreciate it, man. If I could find one that's Sauron's tower, that would be awesome.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm sure you can. That's got to be a thing.
Yeah, because I've been having this Dark Tower 2 game sitting on my game table for weeks now, and I play it like almost every day, and it's just I don't know what it is. I'm a geek for that kind of gimmick.
Oh, totally.
something something big and stupid on the table. But
Yeah, I'm with
yeah,
you. Awesome. Well, yeah, if you find something you like, just let me know.
okay, appreciate it.
And
And if you need a commercial laser cutter printer, let me know too, because I got mine up and running. I did a signage for the wedding, and
oh, hell
I
yeah.
I can cut up to 1/4 inch plywood. I can engrave wood. I made myself a little paint tower for all the little acrylic paints, that keep them all stored. Yeah, and there's all kinds of designs online too for that kind, just like there are for STLs. So if you ever need anything, let me know.
Awesome.
Hmm.
The heck
Yeah.
just happened
Oh, I meant to tell you, Jim, my
Hmm.
daughter likes your dogs.
No,
That's all I talked
she
about
saw.
when she
Yeah,
saw him come out of the house. So,
yeah, the little terrorists. So I'd be. They're good with people. I haven't had them around kids very much. I can't imagine they would do anything except like overwhelm her with their jumping and licking and stuff.
sure,
So
sure.
whenever she wants to try that out, they are a hit with kids.
Guys, give me 1 second. I gotta come out of Roll20 and come back in. I got something weird going on in my interface. Give me one moment.
Okay.
No problem.
Man.
All right, I'm here.
All right.
I accidentally moved one of your portraits, and it did something weird with it. So I was trying to move everybody else's portrait to try to get it to fix, and it just kept. It was like playing a portrait shell game all of a sudden, and I couldn't
Mm.
get.
Wow.
So I just had to reload. Sorry about that. Um, all right. So are we all back?
Uh,
Me and Kyle are.
Yep,
Connor's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
cool.
So as you guys go tromping off into the dark of the tunnel, uh, breathing stale, musty air. It's like I said, it's a very surreal thing being underground like this in these tunnels that who knows how old they are? Are they from ancient Rome? Are they from before? It's really quite bizarre. The and you know, unless one of you is specifically keeping time, it just seems like you keep walking it. At one point, the tunnel starts to angle downward, um, and you can hear the sound of you hear sound of rushing water overhead. It actually gets very deafening at one point when you seem to hit a low point. Uh, as the tunnel starts to edge back upwards, you come across your first intersecting tunnel. If I could get um, inside observation, who's got the best inside observation?
Mine's 12.
My insight is 12. My observation is 3
Whoa,
with an instinct focus.
I think that would be the guy right there.
Inspector, what are your L5C?
To the man.
I Luca may have a really high one too, but that's if
Is
you're
it?
looking for talking, then no.
Yeah, it's inside observation with hearing difficulty 2.
I don't have hearing, but I'll go for it if you guys want.
He's
I'm
been deaf the
surprised.
whole time.
Yeah, so yeah, Luca has 3 observation, but not hearing, and her insights are 10. So I guess that would be 13, right?
Yeah, so cons at 15.
Yep.
Difficulty 1.
All right,
Difficulty 1.
two, please.
Difficulty 2.
Two.
Okay.
Well, look at you. Um, the 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 sound of water, which you assume is the Tiber River overhead somewhere. Yeah, it's overhead and behind you to some extent. Makes it difficult to hear, but you swear for just a moment from the tunnel that breaks off to the right, you heard sound of scratching or something small like a rodent perhaps skittering away.
I will tell the guys.
All right.
There is a noise of something small this way.
Is that towards the camp?
Nikki says, "No, no, that goes north. That goes north further. Uh, would probably pass back under the Tiber. I only came under the Tiber once.
Do you want to eliminate whatever that is so we don't find it on the way back?
Could just be a rat. It sounded small.
Never did like rats.
I think Luca's gonna do an observation roll too to see,
Okay.
since we do have.
Oh, go ahead and use her smell focus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so we got insight, 2 station. Yes, yes. One success.
One success. Um, she she sniffs the air coming out of that tunnel for a long moment, and then kind of lets loose a low growl.
Mm,
Um, yep.
Easy, girl.
yeah, easy.
And
Whatever
some,
it is.
what's that?
I say whatever it is, she doesn't like it.
Well, I find her to be quite a good judge of character.
Oh, she's exceptional.
And can we see anything down the tunnel?
You flash your flashlight down, and it just It reaches the end of your flashlight, the end of the beam of light, and it's just darkness. You don't see anything down there. The tunnel goes down a good ways. Looks like there's intersections further on. Um, you do note there seems to be something written on the wall in that tunnel, in some sort of, you're not sure, some sort of runes, hieroglyphics, cuneiform, you don't know. But Walter, it looks similar to some of the writing you saw in your vision.
Mm,
What the? What is that? Is that Italian?
Would
it's not
a
Italian.
would an academia focus in occultism help?
No, no. In your case, Con, you just know what it is.
Oh,
It's Atlantean.
oh, I speak this effing language.
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
baby.
Wow, excellent.
Woo! I spent some time learning it last adventure, if I remember
And
correctly,
I think you
didn't I?
started with it, or did
Oh,
you
did
learn
I?
it last time? Did you learn it last time, or did you
When
start
we
with it? I
had
don't remember.
experience, didn't I? Why is this in my head
We
that I
did talk.
spent
We had a
time?
discussion about what it would take to learn a language.
We did because the rule books don't really have an accounting for that. And I had gone and looked on Reddit and found the way most people were handling it. But I'm pretty sure you started with
Well,
Atlantean.
I do have it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
right there on my character sheet. Also, just a reminder, I'm putting marks with arrows pointing the direction that we came.
okay, no problem. Yeah, so far it's been basically a straight shot, so that's no problem. But yeah, that's fine. Um, it's
Inspect.
it
Go ahead.
says it actually just says three words with what is the Atlantean equivalent of an arrow. It says to the vault.
This way to the vault.
You can read this gobbledygook.
Indeed, it is Atlantean.
What? What vault?
It doesn't say.
Con, my friend, you never fail to impress me.
Well,
If it's a vault, it has something we want.
well. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We can't leave Baker up there alone. Maybe we come back to this.
Isn't this where we were supposed to go? Isn't this where Lucretia is being held? Filippi.
Nikki says, "No, no, I didn't come from that way," and he points the direction you guys were just headed. He said, "That's where I'm came from. I'm fairly certain. I that that goes north. It must go back under the Tiber at some point. I only crossed under the Tiber once, escaping."
I don't like this, and I am a bit curious, but Baker's only got so much time.
That's right. Let's keep focused on our main mission. If we have time and the ability, we can always double back.
All right.
Although,
Hmm.
I just,
Yeah.
this is my own thoughts. I'm not verbalizing it, but they are working on a secret weapon, aren't they?
Weapon? What
Isn't
kind
that
of
what they're
weapon?
doing down here? Isn't that what we were told?
I heard you guys mumbling about it.
Yeah. No. Filippi did tell you when he thought he was Pesquino before he when he was still in full blown crazy mode that he had heard some mention among he had heard some mention about a weapon, but he didn't know anything beyond that.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a quandary because, or
Yeah,
I could
let's
just ask him, Philippi, do you have any knowledge of where this weapon that they're working on might be? Did you see any indications?
He said, "No, I did not. I don't think it's something they have. I think it's something they're trying to find."
Very good. Let's keep going.
All right. So you guys continue on. Meanwhile, Mr. Baker, reverse
Yes,
time a few minutes here, and to where you separated from the group. So your plan was to go in through the building and lower yourself down behind like the refuse heap. Was that the idea?
correct.
Okay.
That was exactly the idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So to cut through the mechanics of it really quickly, you get back there, and you obviously the you see the camp. Um, Now you have a climbing kit, do you not?
I do. So that lowers my difficulty to 0.
Correct. So you can just drop down for free, or you can roll to try to gain momentum and risk a complication.
How much momentum do we have now?
4.
That's what I thought. The dog picked up 2, correct?
Um,
I don't know.
no, Khan picked up 2.
Khan picked up.
Oh no,
All
Khan
right.
didn't pick up. Somebody picked up 2. Anyway, you got 4.
All right.
Oh, the
Um,
dog did pick up 2 on a previous roll. You're right.
on a previous roll. All right. At any rate, no, I'm not going to try and pick up any more momentum. I'm just going to go down. I'm going to tie a well, there's 40 different kinds of slip knots, so I'll tie a slip knot at the top to come down, um, and then jerk on the bit end and bring the whole thing down.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm going to basically hide all the rope and stuff in the refuse pile.
That's fine. This is all going to require a stealth roll.
Okay.
Agility with stealth, and you can use your urban stealth.
Okay. So agility.
Oh wow! Holy crap!
So we now have 6
You
momentum.
have 6. You guys are maxed out.
Amazing.
You
Okay.
are Baker. You are the knight itself as you come down this rope and hide everything behind the refuse heap. You are nothing but a shadow in the wind. Is that an
Okay.
expression?
And one clarification. I'm wearing a sergeant's uniform, but is it just a sergeant, a staff sergeant?
Um, we just said sergeant,
All
so
right. So
that's what we're going with.
he's in Unterfeldwebel.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So so I'm going to I'm not going to move past the. If I go east, I run into the barracks, and then I have to go past the gate to go to the site office. So I'm going to go west and then south along the fence line.
Okay.
Okay. And obviously, I'm going to keep my eyeball peeled. Uh, as I know from previous observation, they have guys who patrol the fence line, but we'll see. It's nighttime, so I don't know what I might run into. But that's the plan: is to go that way.
Okay. So you're following the fence line west and then turning south.
Right, and then when I get down there, I'll turn east, and I'm going to try and go between the prisoner barracks and the fence to
Very
get
good.
to the site office.
All
So I'm
right.
going to walk actually behind the catacombs shed or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called the catacomb shed. That's kind of odd. But okay, yeah, that's fine. All right. So as uh, you're walking along the fence line, go ahead and make an insight observation. Sight, if you have it, is fine. Oh, failure. Okay. All right. Um, you come out from behind the rubbish heap and you walk almost face first into a private carrying a rifle, Yeah, he was walking. He was out walking up the fence line towards you, and he sees you, and he. Let's see. Let's see one thing. I'm going to make a quick roll on. Where's my dice roller? There's my dice roller. Oh, okay. Um, he sees you and he stops and he says, "Sergeant,
Soldat, anything to report?
all right. Well, going straight for it. So willpower persuasion,
Okay.
and
I
we'll
gotta.
just kick in your deceive focus. I mean, 'cause you're just jumping right into your alternate identity.
Yeah, and I'm looking for one of my notes. Hold on a second. I misplaced something. I can't find it. Oh well. All right. So, I'm sorry. We're back to Will.
Yep.
Will persuasion. Um, while I'm doing this, what do I notice about the guy? Is he well, he's a private. He's is he a young kid?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um, what's his uniform look like? Is he
Standard Wehrmacht.
well? What I meant was I was just looking for some any mannerisms, and with my subtle cues, I probably get an extra die. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, we'll do that in a minute.
Ah,
Um,
I
yeah.
just
What's wrong?
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
I forget about your subtle cues. Holy crap. Um, he uh, he immediately, you hit him. You hit him with anything to report. You throw on your NCO's voice, and he immediately drops into standard enlisted grunt. He hears authority. He knows authority when he hears it, and he replies, "No, Sergeant." Unterfeld Biebel. No, Sergeant. Everything is quiet so far.
Okay, carry on, Yunga.
All right. He
And I walk past.
yeah, and he actually does a hard 180-degree turn and starts walking back down the fence line, the direction that you were actually going to head. In fact.
Okay. So he's kind of trailing me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna slow down and let him come up next to me.
Okay.
Uh, where are you from, Yunga?
Uh, uh, Hamburg.
Ah, I haven't spent much time in Hamburg. Do you like it growing up there?
Uh, yes, Sergeant. It was a fine place.
Well, how'd you get night duty? Did you did you irritate someone to get put on night duty?
No, Sarge. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I recognize you, Sergeant.
Well, I just came over from the hospital. There was some commotion over there, and they asked me to come here. I need to talk to some folks, but I was just checking to make sure all was in order. I'm uh, I'm Becker.
He I don't know. What's his name?
Just pick one.
Yeah,
Hans.
yeah, exactly. Hans Gruber.
Grubenschnitzel.
That's right. Um, he uh, he nods. He introduces himself and says, and he asks you, are you are you aware of some of the things that have happened here?
Well, I understand you had some excitement recently. I was at the hospital when I saw let's say, the results arrive.
He says, I would much rather be walking the fence than in those tunnels at night. Put it that way.
I can't say I blame you. This doesn't seem to be the best duty. Did you get a chance to see Rome much?
Uh, a little bit during the day, here or
Make a
there.
move on any of the Make a move on any of the Frauleins? Aye.
He chuckles. He says, no, no, I have a Fraulein waiting for me back at home.
Well, good for you, young man like you. She pretty?
She's beautiful, Sergeant.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, hopefully, this duty will be wrapped up soon, and you can get stationed back in Germany to see your beautiful Fraulein. Well, it seems like it's been quiet. I don't see much going on. Hopefully, hopefully it'll stay quiet.
I hope so too, Sergeant. If you need, hold on one second. Give me one moment. I need to cough up something really quick here. If you need, oh, go figure. Are you aware, Mr. Baker, that the German version of your last name, Becker, is the fourth most common German surname in existence?
No, I didn't know that. I do know that Becker in German means baker.
Correct. Um, he, he says he says if you uh, I believe Sergeant Klein is is overseeing the tunnels tonight. If that's who you're here to see, Captain Kurster is probably in his office,
Hauptmann.
or Hauptmann. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Hauptmann. What? How do you say that name?
Kurster.
Kirster?
Yeah, it's Kuster with the umlaut over the U.
That was a captain.
Yeah,
Okay.
Captain Hauptmann is
Hauptmann. Yep,
captain.
Captain.
He's in his office. Is that that office is that little building over there by that barracks?
That's right, Sarge. Yep, the one on cinder blocks.
Okay. Yes, I should probably check in with both of these guys, get a lay of what's going on, and um, put some things together for my report to Berlin. All right. Thank you. Thank you, young man, and I will. You keep your eye out for anything. And Becker smiles. Anything at all, and keeps walking.
He nice. He yeah, he responds, "Yes, Sergeant. Have a good night." So as you so is that where you head then? You head over towards the site office.
Um, yeah.
By the way, that was a good idea asking Peschino to draw and label the map for you. That was smart. Also made my life easier because then I can just say the site office. you know.
Right. Well, and it wasn't my idea for him to label it. It was my idea to draw a sketch and show it to him, and then but Um, I was the only one who saw the compound.
Right, 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 right. So the site office is it's a wooden building. Looks like it's been pretty hastily erected. It's actually standing on blocks, several feet above. It's that particular part of the area is graded funny, so it's standing on blocks so that it's level. Has a set of wooden steps that lead up to the door. There's no one on guard outside the office. Obviously, there's a as you're walking towards it, you see there's a couple other guards that are patrolling the fence line. No one really paying attention to you. There's guys up in the yeah, obviously up in the towers as you would expect. It's about 4 meters wide and probably 5 meters deep, so it's not a particularly big building.
No, it's a
Uh,
shed.
yeah, it's little more than a shed. You're absolutely correct. Um, yeah,
Okay. So, all right. So my expectations from Felipe was that I would find. I know it's the office, but I'd also find the archaeologists here. Although it is night, so not sure. So anyway, I'll go. I guess I'll head to the office.
all right.
Uh, Wooden steps, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
So I clump up the steps and assume there's a door.
there is.
So I'll just open the door like I own the place.
All right. You open the door, and inside this room is crammed with stuff. Uh, on the left side wall is a bunk bed, and the lower bunk has a middle aged man uh, 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 laying in it. The On the far side, directly across from you, is another bunk bed. Well, it's not really a bunk bed. It's a kind of an elevated platform bed, and underneath that is a work desk. There's another desk right in front of you, facing you, and behind that desk is a man probably in his early 30s. He's wearing a German uniform, and when you open the door, his eyes snap up to you, and he he looks extraordinarily annoyed and dismayed, and he says, "Sergeant, what are you doing here?"
I snap to attention and say, "How Hitler?"
He 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 stands and he returns the salute, but in a very lazy fashion.
Herr Hauptmann, I I'm Unterfeldwebel Becker. I have come from the hospital uh, to see there was some unpleasantness recently, and I'm here to inquire if there's any additional help needed.
Okay. We are going to we're going to make a roll here. Do, 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 do. Okay. Um, so make your will persuasion with deceive. Difficulty is 1.
Okay. And I'm going to use. All right. So here's the question on
Mm-hmm.
my my persuade my subtle cues. It says the first extra D20 is free.
Correct.
So what would the second d20 cost?
The normal 2.
Okay, so I'm going to use 2 momentum since I keep generating momentum and throwing it away.
Okay.
So I'm going to have 4 dice,
Oh my god.
Amazing.
and we'll go down to 4 momentum.
You'll probably get it all right back.
Persuasion, focus supplies.
You only got one of it back. All right. Very good. He sits back down at his desk and he says, uh, "I believe we all have it all in hand right now, Unterfeldwebel."
Okay, sir. Um, it it's what I saw at the hospital was very unnerving to me. Um,
He looks up at you and he says, "What you saw at the hospital?" He says, "Step inside, Unterfeldwebel. Close the door."
okay, I'll come in and close the door. Um, it's
Cue porn music.
it's very unnerving to me. I, I was ordered to come to see if there was some assistance there, but it's I saw something that looks out of unworldly, and it has I've been in this army for a while, and I've never seen anything like it. Um, uh, do you do you mind if Hauptmann, do you smoke?
He says, "No,
Okay, then
9."
9. Then I will refrain from partaking of that
He
nasty habit.
says, "So you saw what was taken to the hospital." He says, "I might have something here that might help illuminate it for you, Unterfeldwebel." And he stands up and comes to the side of his desk and he's flipping through a stack of papers. And he says, "Ah," and he pulls it out. He comes around the front of the desk and he reaches forward as if to hand you this piece of paper.
Okay, um, I'll accept the paper
Okay.
and take a quick glance at it.
Um, it doesn't seem to be anything important whatsoever. It's literally looks like it literally looks like a part of a payroll ledger. And then you hear the cocking of a pistol, and he says, "All right, now, Unterfeldwebel, why don't you tell me who you really are?"
Oh man.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, boy.
That's the problem when your GM has lots of threat.
I forgot about that.
I
What do you have,
forgot
like
about the
20
threat
threat?
too.
Oh, I'm just at 9 now.
Oh, just
Um, when when yeah. Anyway, he says, "Because we we are the ones who were sent from Berlin, and one of my associates is already dead, and nobody else is supposed to be in that hospital. So, but why don't you talk a little bit?"
I
The other individual in the bunk bed, by the way, is no longer dozing off, but is kind of sitting on the edge of the bunk bed with a mix of interest and fear.
Do you think that only one organization in the Army is interested in what's going on here? You know how our Army works. No single person is ever trusted.
All right. All right. That's the way you want
Clever.
to
Good,
play it.
good bluff, bro. I liked
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
a lot.
that is a
That was
good
solid.
bluff.
That was one of
Um,
the better ones I've ever heard.
I am. I'm gonna go hard on this. You're making this expensive. Um, okay. So you may make a will persuasion with your deceive focus. Difficulty, sir, is 4.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a contested roll.
4. That's a
Yeah.
good one. So, what is it again? Will?
Um,
Same
uh,
will persuasion?
will persuasion. Yep, with your deceive focus.
Okay. And I will use a fortune point.
All right. That turns one of your dice into a 1, which gives you 2 successes.
Correct. So, does that mean then technically, then my 3 dice, I don't roll the 3 dice. I just roll
Roll
2?
2 dice. That's
Because
correct.
one's already done.
Correct.
All right.
Which, so you're rolling that 2 dice. Set the difficulty to 2 because you have 2 successes already, if that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Okay. And then if I spend,
You could spend 2 momentum to get another die. You
yeah.
guys have 5
All right. I'll
if
do
one of
that.
you all want to do that.
All right.
So you're still rolling 3 dice then, correct?
Correct.
Against a difficulty of 2.
Correct.
All right. Here it goes.
Oh no.
Crap.
He says, yes, Unterfeldwebel, you are correct. Uh, However, I don't believe you're part of this army. And certainly no one wearing a normal Wehrmacht uniform, a standard Wehrmacht uniform, would be sent to inquire with me with whom I answer to. And should you by some chance happen to be Black Sun, I may as well shoot you now because nobody would know. The Black Sun has no authority over me. He turns his head to the left and he says, "Mr. Aloya, would you please go outside and uh, get some of my Nachtwolfe to come here, please?" The guy on the bunk bed, he hesitates and he stands up. He's very very nervous, obviously, and he says, "Yes, yeah, yes, I can do that."
While his head's turned, I'm going to pull my Luger.
All right.
Oh.
When in doubt, pull out.
So are we going straight into combat here?
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So good.
All right. Um, I have spent a lot of threat to make you lose that roll. I am not stealing the initiative. What would you like to do, Mr. Baker?
Um, so to pull my weapon from its holster, is that minor action?
I'm basically going to give you that for free as if you did it before combat officially started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so here's the question.
Hmm.
Boy, someone's jackhammering something outside my house. It's loud. All right, so we need to take a look at the assassination. It says you are deadly against unaware foes. He's not exactly unaware. Striking them down quickly and quietly. When making an attack against an unaware target, you may spend 2 momentum to perform an assassination, gaining the intense weapon effect to the attack. Um, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that it may not apply. He's not really unaware.
No, he's not.
He might be taken a little bit by surprise, but he's not unaware. All right.
Correct.
So I will aim the handgun.
Okay.
Now, here's the other thing. When the book says ranged attack, what do they mean exactly?
Just an attack with a ranged weapon.
Okay, so I get to use my sharpshooter focus, my sharpshooter talent.
Oh, okay.
I'm a crack shot. I'm able to hit bullseyes and make shots the most other people could only dream of.
Oh man.
When you take the aim minor action, which I am about to do, before making a ranged attack, the first bonus d20 you buy is free.
Hmm.
In addition, the attack gains the piercing quality or improves the weapon's piercing quality by 1.
All right.
So I'm going to aim, which gives me the first die for free. And I'm going to I'm not going to spend any more momentum because we're down to 3, right?
Right. You're at 3. That's correct.
All right. So I don't
And
want to use up. Go
the
ahead.
real quick, I'm sorry. The aim ability, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, you can re-roll one of your d20s after the fact because of you aimed.
Correct.
Right.
And I get
Okay.
a free d20, so I get to roll 3 dice.
Correct.
So let's go to
And
service
you're
revolver.
using a Luger, are you not?
I'm using a Luger, but it has the same stress as a
Oh, it's basically the same weapon.
same as the service revolver.
Okay,
So
very
I'm
good.
just going to use that to roll since
Are
it's
you
the
are
same.
you salvoing or no?
No.
Okay, very good.
So dice is 3.
All right, all right. So you bought back a point of momentum. You guys are at 4. You, and you had one die that rolled a 19. You can re-roll that to see if you gain more momentum.
Uh, oh, the game. Yeah. Let me.
So yeah, just roll a d20 off the roller from the left. And your target number is 14, so that puts you at 5 momentum actually. All right, so you are at 5 momentum. You get to roll the damage on the Luger.
Okay. All right. And this Luger, I don't think that he's got any armor, but maybe except for his brawn. But the Luger, I just got piercing
Right,
on this Luger. All right.
right, because of your talent. All right, 5 damage dice rolled. Salvo effect doesn't matter because you didn't salvo, so you did 4 damage to him. So your pistol goes off at point blank range, and uh, pounds into him, and he shouts in surprise and stumbles backward. Um, and I think he's just gonna aim right back at you.
I'm going to spend a fortune point to take the initiative.
Really? Can you do that? Oh,
Additional major action.
additional major action.
You immediately take an additional major action this turn as soon as
You're
the
Oh,
right.
first one.
Oh,
that's
dude,
awesome. Oh,
amazing.
you're a monster.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can do it.
So I'm
Absolutely.
going to do the exact same thing again.
Except you can't aim because it doesn't give you an additional minor and major, just a major.
Correct.
What
But I
skill is
am
this?
going to invoke salvo.
Okay. I'm sorry. What was that, Con?
Is he? I missed the part. Is he? Are you relying on some kind of skill to do this?
No, it's one of the spending a fortune point. You can spend a fortune point if you look in the fortune point handout.
Uh-huh.
Additional major action in conflict you immediately take an additional major action this turn as soon
Oh,
as the
sweet.
first one has been resolved.
So
Good job.
unbelievable, awesome.
Yeah, so he's burning his fortune to make it happen. All right, so
Nice.
you're going to salvo this time,
Yeah,
and your talent still counts, does it not?
correct. Well, um,
That sharpshooter talent.
I think it only works if I take aim.
Oh, it only works if you take aim. You're correct. All right, that's fine. All right, and
Okay,
this time you said you're salvoing.
right.
Um,
So,
difficulties one.
so, um, but now my dice this time is 2.
Correct.
I will spend momentum to get 3.
Okay, so that drops you guys to 4, which is still a lot.
Get him, get him.
And then you go right
Yeah,
back up to 6 momentum. God, Baker's a little bit of a monster. All right,
he is
roll your damage dice.
amazing. Come on, dude.
Okay, so I go to damage.
Make it happen.
4 stress damage. You pound another round into him.
And I don't mean to be that guy, but that's for the service revolver stats, right? Is that different than the Luger?
It's
No,
the same.
they turn out to be the same.
Gotcha.
You pound another round into the Hauptmann, but he does not go down.
Holy
Didn't
smokes.
expect.
The hell.
Well, yeah.
Um, so he is going to fire back at you. Oh, well, that should have hit. It did hit. I didn't announce salvo, so I'm not going to do that. But he does have 4d6 damage dice. You know what? This would be easier if I just do this. Does he gain extra for his? No. So it's just 4. And he generated a point of momentum, so I'm just going to roll that into damage dice. Becker, you take 4 stress damage.
Oh, wow.
Um, the other guy, with all the shooting, he bails. He moves to the door, opens the door, and runs out. Well, hobbles out. He's using a walking stick as he does it. And he's shouting in Italian. At least you assume it's Italian as he runs out the door. Next round, Baker, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to pull. Well, reloading is a minor action.
That's correct.
Okay. This is not going exactly the way I wanted. Maybe I shouldn't have. Well, it didn't matter. If I attacked him, he was going to shoot his weapon, and then the jig would be up anyway.
No, this is very pulpy. I think it's awesome.
I'm enjoying it. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, you made me spend 6 threat to make that deceive roll so hard for you.
All right, I'm going to reload
Yep.
and fire another salvo.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. You have 6 momentum.
And I'll burn 2 to get an extra die,
Just one. Just one to
or
get
just
extra.
1 to get an extra die.
Yep. Yep. All right. One success. Two complications.
Oh
Oh
God.
shit. Um. What special? What special things does the Luger have? Is it? It
I
is
don't know.
not reliable. It has close quarters. Okay, very good. I can handle that. You did succeed. So you have damage dice to roll. Um, yeah.
Okay. So
Ooh. Well, all right. So it only did 2 damage, but you had 2 vicious effects, which does 4 damage. Um, which unfortunately was more than enough. So in his rush to do such a vicious wound to this guy, uh, how does Baker kill him?
Amazing.
the same way he always does. Headshot right in the left eye.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so yeah, you blow his brains out and he drops to the floor. We're temporarily out of combat. You hear yelling outside the in the compound. Obviously, it's chaotic right now. You might have a few moments.
Um, quick glance around the room.
Okay.
Um, do we see any? You said there's all kinds of stuff jammed in the room.
Yeah.
Uh, do I see quickly over where the Italian guy was? I'm assuming he's an archaeologist. Do I see any notebooks, notes, pen, paper, anything?
Not at the bunk. No.
Okay, take a quick rifle through. Um, a quick glance at the captain's desk, which is now covered with blood and brain matter.
I'm sure. Let's let's call it a roll. I think. Have we ever done any actual searching per se in this game?
No, well, we've done a little, but
It I would think it's probably. mm, I would think it's probably observation. I'm just not sure if it's still insight. There's not really a search focus or anything along those lines. Um, there is foraging under survival if you're looking for nuts and berries. All right, just make an insight observation. Do you have any observation focuses?
no.
Okay, so just make an insight observation. Difficulty 1.
How many momentum do we have?
5.
I'm going to use one. That'll improve. I can get one extra die if I use one.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to use one. Since I can't interrogate the guy anymore.
You guys sent Baker out on this errand.
No regrets.
Nah, the idea was to use persuasion. I used my persuader, all right.
Was it from Princess Bride? Fetzik, jog his memory. I think I jogged him too hard. All right, so that gets you up to six momentum. There's a lot of stuff on the desk. A lot of paperwork. A lot of it's minutia. Administrative minutia. Um, but what really draws your attention is the locked drawer.
Okay, I'll pick that lock.
All right.
I have
So,
tools.
yeah, this is coordination engineering with mechanical engineering. And you've got a kit or something, right?
Yeah, I got a.
So that
I
drops
got,
the difficulty to zero. You can just do it for free if you like.
I'm just going to do it for free. We have enough enough threat.
Yeah, that's a true statement. All right, very good, very good. Yeah, you get the drawer open. There's there's a notebook uh, in that drawer. It's the only thing in the drawer.
Okay. How big is it? When you say notebook, is it a small thing? Is it letter size?
5 by 8, probably inch and a half thick.
Okay. I'll snatch it up and stuff it inside the blouse of my uniform jacket.
Yep.
Quick look around anywhere else on the other tables. Is anything that stands out to me?
Um, you know what? You were successful in that inside observation. So yes. Um, Off to one side is a small statue, probably 5 inches tall, made out of black stone, of a figure wearing Tibetan robes, or what looks like Tibetan robes.
Does Now, having not seen it, Walter saw it. Walter did the viewing, but from his explanations, does it look like something he saw?
You have all seen that statue
I have.
because you found something that looked just like it when you dug up Ehrlichman's notes in the cemetery in Vienna.
Oh God.
Yeah, so you it looks just like it.
Um, okay. I'll grab it up.
Okay.
Um, how much time has elapsed so far?
Probably 30, 45 seconds. You hear shouting outside. You hear some of it's Italian, some of it's German. It's kind of a jumble, but there's definitely an alarm up.
Okay. I'm going to. Are there any windows in this building?
No,
Didn't think so. And all I've got is the front door.
correct.
All right. I'm out the front door. I'm going to try and elude detection
All
in
right.
the hubbub.
In the hubbub, this is where it's gonna get fun. Um, we are going to do this. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. So,
I don't like three low numbers.
no, 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 it's probably not good. Agility stealth with urban stealth, and difficulty is 3.
Okay.
Does Baker have fortune left?
I have one. I don't know if I want to use it.
You guys do have 6 momentum.
I know. That's what I'm going to use. If I use 3 momentum, then I get 2 dice, right?
Yeah, that would give you a total of 4.
Yep.
Team's good with that?
I love it. I think he should use anything that he needs. Yeah. Get the hell out of there.
Absolutely.
Difficulty is what?
3. Oh.
2 complications.
Oh, no.
You go out the front door, unless you want to use your last fortune point to re-roll any number of d20s.
Um, Yeah.
Yeah, because you had what's your let's see, what's your target number? Your target number is 13. So you had two successes. You had a 9 and a 13 that succeeded. Then you had a 19 and a 20.
Yeah.
Um, you had a 19 and a 20. So you could burn your last fortune point to re-roll those two dice if you wanted to.
All right. Let's do this thing. Two of them, eh?
Yeah, so if you're rolling from the character sheet, oh,
Ah,
that's fine. Do it that way. That's fine. That works. That works. And a 19's not a complication anyway in this situation, just a 20, so that's fine.
yeah,
Um,
but I only have 3 successes,
that's
right?
all you needed. That's
Oh,
all you
okay.
needed. That was the difficulty. You had two from the other two dice, and that gets you the third one, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
That front door is still open. As you kind of poke your head out the front door, you see that the camp is organizing, but true to Nikki Filippi's word, there's not a lot of guards in this in the camp at this moment. There's some starting to come out of the barracks. Um, the guys up in the towers seem to be alert and looking around. The guy that ran out of the shed, the Italian, is shouting at three or four German enlisted soldiers that are just looking at him like, they have no idea what he's saying. There's another enlisted soldier there, sergeant from the looks of it, who is uh, looks like he's trying to translate or something along those lines. If you're going to slip away, this is your chance.
Yeah. Well, that's the move. I got to look at the camp real quick. Um, um, the door to the side office faces the compound, right?
Correct.
All right. So, yeah, I'm to slip away. I'm going to slide around behind the prisoner barracks,
Yep.
and um, this is not exactly my plan, though. Uh, um, the As I go behind the prisoner barracks,
Hmm.
is it on stilts or does it reach the ground?
No, it is on blocks. It's about a foot off the ground.
About a foot off the ground.
Yeah.
Um, that catacomb shed, it's not really a shed, right? I thought it was more like a hole in the ground with the foundation of something that used to be there. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be correct. I'm not quite sure why they list it that way on the map. It's very odd, but yes, that's correct.
All right. If I go around the back of the barracks, I'm going to go around the back of the barracks, and when I look up along the fence line behind the catacomb shed, do I see the perimeter guards, or are they
Uh,
all
no, they've all moved towards the middle right of the compound. About 10
right over
meters from.
towards the office?
Yeah, exactly. About 10 meters north of the office, 10 meters west of the gate.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a good way to get out of this place. Um, um, well, I'm going to head back to the spoil heap where I hid my climbing tools.
All right.
Um, again, I want to be as far back away from those guys as possible and count on the hubbub to keep them busy. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm.
at this point, they're moving towards the side office.
Yeah, and I'm moving away from the side office up behind the catacomb shed. Okay.
Right.
So my goal, I'm going to head over to the spoil heap where I hid my climbing tools.
Yep.
All right. When I get there, I'm going to get them, and I have one use left.
Yep.
So I'll use it to. I'll use it to. I guess I'll use it to scale back up on the building if I can.
Very good. Um, and that'll be free. You'll use up your climbing tools. You have. I'm going to ask you to make one more urban stealth roll.
Okay.
Agility. Agility, stealth, urban stealth focus applies. And unfortunately, because I'm going to make one more shot.
Oh my God.
I,
Thanks for nothing.
you're welcome. If it makes you feel any better, I had to use a point of threat to do that. Your difficulty is 2.
Okay. Um, I'm going to use a point of momentum for a die.
Okay. That puts you guys at 2.
Ugh. Yeah, I was expecting to generate some successes to build that back up. Sorry, guys.
Don't sweat it. That whole role play was so awesome. I really enjoyed observing that. So
Yeah, watching Henry Baker in action was fun.
yeah,
I realized who he reminds me of now. 10 sessions in,
Oh, look at that.
reminds me of Peter Graves from Mission Impossible.
Oh
You know what I'm talking
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Uh, Baker, you go climbing up the wall. Your heart stops for just a moment as one of the searchlights from the tower goes right above you, and then slides on by, and you continue up. You get to the top and inside the building without getting spotted. You made it away.
Okay.
Wow, that was something else.
that
And
was
I
really
got us
cool.
back a point of momentum.
You did get back a point of momentum. Gentlemen, it is 1:45.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Boy.
gotta go get a kid here shortly. I didn't quite expect Baker's side of things to go completely off the rails like it did, or maybe I did. I don't know, but I guess when we come back, because next week is out, correct? So we're on the
Right.
13th.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So when we come back on the 13th, we'll be focused purely, I guess, on Pilecki, Slim, Khan, and the and Nikki and Luca. Don't forget Luca,
Right.
as they walk through the catacombs. I'm afraid, Baker, you're probably going to be sitting there quiet most of the time.
That's okay. I've had enough excitement for a while.
Yeah, that was
It'll take you 2
fantastic.
weeks to recover.
That was very cool. Actually, wasn't there a week that Marty, weren't you going to be gone?
Yeah. Right now, I got laser surgery on one of my eyes on June.
Fun. Was it 20th or something like that?
Yeah, June. Yeah, June 20.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, never mind then, because the 13th obviously will reconvene before your surgery. So
Correct.
I guess, gotcha. All right, so we'll just 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sounds good, guys. Thanks a lot
it
for
was awesome.
coming.
Great session.
It was a lot of fun.
Great session as usual.
Yeah, and we'll get back to the tunnels next week and see what fun you guys. Hey, you guys should feel pretty good. I mean, we went into this with 9 threat, and even with the threat Baker generated, I still only have 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
This should be a cakewalk for you guys.
Oh, hey, listen, all I'm going to say is don't expect us to pull a Henry Baker. Let's not get a little crazy, okay?
I'm sure it'll be fun. All right, guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
All right.
Thanks all.